Jnanatirmirandasya Jnana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurung Vaisnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kantamostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneswari Visabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Pipasindubhya evacha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaisnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Reading from the 7th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj, the saintly son of Hiranyakashipu, text 23 and 24. We're just going to read from the Archanam part. This is the reply of Prahlad Maharaj to his demoniac father, Hiranyakashipu, asking what he has learned in the Gurukul, like you. When your parents will ask you what you've learned from the Gurukul, I think you will reply the same thing, right? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Prarada Uvacha Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archalang Vandalang Dasyam Sakyang Atma Nivedanam Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu Bhaktischenna Valakshana Kriyeta Bhagavati Ada Tanmanye Ditang Uttamam. Translation. Prahlad Maharaj said, hearing and chanting about the transcendental holy name form, qualities, paraphernalia, and pastimes of Lord Vishnu, remembering them, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship with 16 types of paraphernalia, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming His servant, considering the Lord one's best friend and surrendering everything unto Him. In other words, serving Him with the body, mind, and words. These 9 processes are accepted as pure devotional service. One who has dedicated his life to the service of Krishna through these 9 methods should be understood to be the most learned person, for he has acquired complete knowledge. So, part of the purport, this is quite long purport, one of the longest purports Prabhupada gave in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So when Prahlad Maharaj was asked by his father to say something from whatever he had learned, he considered that what he had learned from his spiritual master was the best of all teachings, whereas what he had learned about diplomacy from his material teachers, Sanda and Amarka, was useless. So there are 2 types of gurukuls. One is gurukul that will help us to go back home, back to Godhead. And one gurukul is that one will have us become more and more entangled in the material world. So the gurukul that Hiranyakashipu asked to be established is the gurukul which is meant for materialistic kind of people. You're very fortunate, you're in a gurukul that will help you elevate your consciousness and ultimately will lead you back to Krishna. So when Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlad Maharaj what you have learned from your teachers or in the school, his reply was not what he learned from the Gurukul of Sanda and Amarka. He replied what he had learned from the womb of his mother, Kayadu. When Narad Muni was narrating Bhagavad Dharma to Kayadu, Prahlad Maharaj remembered all of this due to his being a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord. Pure devotee of the Supreme Lord, he will remember the past, the present, and the future. So he was surprised, Hiranyakashipu, when this was the reply. So there are 9 processes of devotional service, as we have learned or heard from the narration of Prahlad Maharaj. And now we will describe about and read the deity worship part, Archanam. This is what Prabhupada says. Listen carefully, because I'm going to ask you a question also. Archanam. After Padasevanam comes the process of Archanam, worship of the deity. If one is interested in the process of Archanam, one must positively take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master and learn the process from him. There are many books for Archana, especially Narad Pancharatra. In this age, the Pancharatra system is particularly recommended for Archana, deity worship. There are 2 systems of Archana, the Bhagavat system and the Pancharatriki system. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is no recommendation of Pancharatriki worship because in this Kali Yuga, even without deity worship, everything can be perfectly performed simply through hearing, chanting, remembering, and worship of the lotus feet of the Lord. So, yes, there are two types of archanam. There is the Bhagavat Pancharatriki, and there is also the Pancharatriki Bhagavat system and the Pancharatrika system. The Bhagavat system comprises of the 9 processes of devotional service and the Pancharatrika Vidhi. Bhagavat Vidhi and Pancharatrika Vidhi. Vidhi means process. And the Pancharatrika Vidhi, that means deity worship. And as Prabhupada says, in the deity worship of the Supreme Lord, one must learn from the bona fide spiritual master. What explains in that sentence is that the deity worship at the temple. It's like here we have Sisi Krishna Balaram, and we have Jagannath Baladev Subhadra, and also Sisi Radha Madhava. Specifically, we are observing today this Brahmotsav. Brahmotsav means the day when the Lord appeared. This is like the birthday of Krishna and Balaram. Utsav. Utsav means festivals. In our Gaudiya Vaishnava line of tradition, there are many festivals. Prabhupada says we can have a festival every day. You like to have festival every day? Then you will not have time for your school. But we're not able to cope if we're going to have festivals every day, because in the spiritual world, every moment is a festival. And this special occasion today commemorates the installation, opening of this temple 3 years ago by none other than our dear most beloved His Holiness Srila Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. He is the main inspiration. Without his blessings, and ultimately coming from the line of disciplic succession from Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada empowered our spiritual master to open many temples. There is no one in our movement who opened so many temples except our Guru Maharaj. In Delhi alone, there are 24 temples in one city, NCR. So this is a grand celebration today. All the demigods are here today, including Lord Brahma. That's why it is called Brahmotsav. Lord Brahma, ultimately, is the one who installed the deities. Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra. So, yes, there are many rules and regulations. In worshiping of the deity, there is the external worship and more of the internal worship. The external worship means rituals. It's like we have the first worship time of the day is at Mangalartik. You come from Mangalartik? Yes. Every day? Yes. How about those kids over there? Looks like they're somewhere. Do you come from Mangalartik every day? Yes. Now, yes, now they are. See, Mangalartik means auspicious. Mangal means Brahma Muhurta. Like in India, we have Mangalartik at 4:30 in the morning. So the pujaris, They are trained up in this Pancharatriki Vidhi. And along with the worship of the Lord, the main ingredient is the hearing and chanting. It's like when you cook sabji, the main ingredient is namak. Without namak, the sabji will not taste very good. So similarly, the pujari also has to chant the holy name of the Lord and read Srimad Bhagavatam every day. This is like a complete package that Srila Prabhupada has given us. Worship of the deity, especially early in the morning, to get rid of our ignorance. We're born here in this world of ignorance. This is what that prayer. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyanan Gyana Salakaya Chaksur Udmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master has opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my most humble, respectful obeisances unto him. So this is external when we do the artik. The artik can only be seen, can be seen by the public. Yes, when we do artik, is it closed doors? No. But then everything else, the worship of the Lord, is behind closed doors. Even when we offer boga for the Lord, no one should be able to see or even smell what's been offered. In Jagannath Puri, they have a tunnel where the pujaris will go and offer 56 items of boga, chapan bog. However, there are some temples that when they worship the Lord, like during Abhishek, you can have darshan. One of them is in Rimuna. How many of you have been to Rimuna? Kirchor, Gopinath? Over there, they will do Abhishek, and you can have darshan while Abhishek is going on. Very merciful. But in ISKCON, only those who are qualified pujaris, they can see even the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani every day. For public, no. So who wants to become a pujari? Can I have a raise of hands? Any one of you? 1, 2, 3. Who wants to be a pujari? Someday, not now. So you have to go through the process to be trained up. Here you have a Vedic part of the Gurukul, right? Hopefully they'll become Brahmanas one day, and they will do the yagyas, samskaras, and also archanam. So, says here, it is recommended that initiated devotees follow the principles of Narada Pancharatra by worshipping the deity in the temple. Especially for householder devotees who are opulent in material possessions, the path of deity worship is strongly recommended. So, yes, the grihastas, they are supposed to also meant to do deity worship. But the deity worship at home is not the same standard, high standard that we have here at the temple. Here we have 6 times offerings to the Lord and also boga offering. For those who are grihastas, it is recommended to make your life regulated and be in the mode of goodness. I've been to many centers in many countries all over the world, and in each and every country they have their favorite deities that they worship. Like in Russia, our Guru Maharaj We traveled with him for 27 years. In Russia, their favorite deities are Shishigornitai. Shishigornitai ke? Prabhupada says that even a meat eater can worship Gornitai. This is how merciful they are. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaur Tasai Namaha. There's no need of special qualification to get or receive the blessings of Shishigornitai. The more one is fallen, the more one is qualified. He even asked a couple of his disciples, Grihasta, to produce Shishigornitai like dolls. And they can be distributed, they can be sold in the bazaar, in the market, like dolls. This is how merciful they are. In South Africa, like Durban, we've been there, or Mauritius, their favorite deities are Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra. Yes, they have so many Ratha Yatras in the whole year. The first time I went to Mauritius, we were invited in a Ratha Yatra festival. And this coming December also, they'll be having Ratha Yatra and also boat festival, Noka Bihar. You have boat festival here also? Yes. Akshaya Tritiya. Well, the boat festival there are the real boat. Full-size boat, and we go to the ocean. Yeah, to the sea. Yeah, it's not like Krishna Balaram Mandir's boat festival, Chota boat, and then we push them. No, over there, we ride on the boat with Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra. In America, their favorite deities are Sri Radha and Krishna. So now, worshiping of the Lord, one should be very careful. Because if one commits an offense, then one will have a very, very serious reaction. Prabhupada says, worshiping Radha Krishna, they take 100% of your offenses if you commit an offense. In Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, they will take 75% of your offenses. In Shishigornitai, they take 0 offense. Shishigornitai ki jai. But still, one should not be casual. One should not be, what do you call this? Familiar. There is a saying in English, familiarity breeds contempt. Yes, worship of the Lord, one should be very, very careful. And 2 ingredients are needed: punctuality and cleanliness. But now, worship of Guru, one has to be more careful than worship of the Lord. Worship of the spiritual master or serving the spiritual master, one must be very, very extra careful, but because there will be a tendency of, again, to think of the spiritual master as an ordinary person. Srila Prabhupada is not an ordinary person. He is a Saktyaves avatar. That means empowered incarnation. Even at the time of the installation of Sisi Krishna Balaram, Sisi Gornitai, and Sisi Radha Shama Sundar, Prabhupada also commissioned his students, his disciples, to have his murti while he is still alive. There's a murti of Prabhupada and Bhaktisiddhanta on the altar of Sisi Gornitai. So, one devotee told Prabhupada that now that you are being worshipped as a murti, you're still alive, so many karmas will be going to you. Why did you have this? Why did you have this murti of yours while you're still alive? So Prabhupada says, he replies, this is why I came for, to take all your karmas so that you'll go back home, back to Godhead. This is unusual. Only an acharya can do this. So we have to be careful. Prabhupada is here. He is not a statue. So whenever we come to the mandir, to the temple, we should always offer obeisances unto him. When you live, offer obeisances. And even after 2 minutes, you come back, you still offer obeisances. There is this one boy, I don't know if he's here, he's one of your student. And this morning, he did not offer obeisances after. He said, I was in the kirtan. So he went, he left, and then he came back. And I noticed he did not offer obeisances. I says, is this what they told you? They taught you in the Gurukul? It's very important. Because they're still young, this is their foundation. If they learn properly, then their advancement in Krishna consciousness is guaranteed. Yes. Householders, you don't need to have 6 times offerings of boga or 6 times doing artik. Minimum 1, but better than that, 2. 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening. Householders, I know in my travels, they only change the deity's clothes every Ekadasis. Here, we change what? Twice a year? Not twice a year. Twice a day. Twice. 1 in the morning and 1 in the nighttime, putting them in their night clothes. In Los Angeles, used to be our world headquarters. They changed the deity's dress even in the daytime. 3 times. The only temple I've known right now, 3 times. That means they're very, very careful how to do it, how to maintain. Establishing the deity or having them do the installation, it is not as difficult as maintaining the deities. The maintenance is more difficult, and that's why Lord Vishnu, his duty is to maintain our universe or this material world. Creation, Lord Brahma can do. Lord Shiva, destroying. But the maintenance, Lord Vishnu. So to maintain the Grihasthas, I'm talking about the Grihasthas specifically because to be regulated again, you need to do deity worship. Prabhupada mentions here, one should not engage paid brahmanas to worship the deity. Hare Krishna. We can give maintenance if their service is full-time, because they have to maintain their family, if they have family. But salary, we don't give. We don't call it salary. We call it maintenance, to maintain their family. If one does not personally worship the deity but engages paid servants instead, he is considered lazy. And his worship of the deity is called artificial. So, this is not a criticism, but we are so regulated. Everywhere in the temple where we have deities of the Lord, precise time, 4:30 Mangalarti. Greeting of the deities, 7:15. Raj Boga, 12 o'clock. Utpana, Artik 4 or 4:15. Then Gora Artik, then Sayan Artik. In some places, because they said, oh, it is winter time, so Krishna must be, he needs to sleep more. Yeah? So they will wake up the deities when the pujari wakes up. Because it is the pujari who's sleeping more. Krishna doesn't sleep. But only according to our rules and regulations that we're doing this. They never sleep. Like Jagannath, his eyes always open. He doesn't have an eyelid. Lord Jagannath doesn't sleep. But we put them to rest also for our own benefit. Grihastha devotees must adopt the Archana Vidhi or deity worship according to the suitable arrangements and directions given by the spiritual master. So at least the Grihasthas should change their deities' clothes once a week on the weekends. Every 2 weeks is too long. Yeah? Every 2 weeks is too long. Like we change our clothes every day, right? Why not the deities? They are personalities. They're not made of stone or metal or wood. Prabhupada says, if you treat the deities like stone, they will reciprocally treat you the same way. We pray to the Lord and they will hear us. Any prayers that we ask from them, if we are qualified, if we deserve it, then they will reciprocate accordingly. So all of you, Hare Krishna, your attention, Gurukul kids, you pray from within your heart to Krishna Balaram every day. And they will hear your prayers. Of course, we should only have one prayer. Krishna Balaram, please engage me in your loving devotional service. This should be our only one desire. I've read the other day that a person can have 22,000 desires in one day. That must be a crazy person. 22,000, up to 22,000. It's like the father, you don't have to ask the father your needs. The father knows exactly what the child needs are. So similarly, our need is only, let me be an instrument in your service. I will stop here now. It's 9 o'clock exactly. Is there any question? One or two questions? I've heard in Bhaktivedanta International Gurukul School, they're very intelligent and they ask very intelligent questions here. Is that true? Okay. Are you a student? Yes? Final year.
So, Hare Krishna, the question is that, in every birth, we are suffering again and again, and finally we have achieved this human good of life. We have achieved this human form. So, now in order to go back to home, go back to body, what is the main key formula for breaking the attachment towards material things and getting attached towards Krishna?
The main problem that we have is ahankar. false ego. We're talking about that the other day, that this false ego is the last thing that we have to give up. False ego means I am this body, my name is such and such, I belong to a certain family, I live in certain village or city. We are not all of this. We're all spirit souls. Spirit soul, pure in its original nature. The spirit soul cannot be cut into pieces, burned by fire, withered by water. And this is what we call upadhi. Upadhi means false designation. So the real nature of every living entities is to serve Krishna, to serve God. And you cannot serve God if you're not humble. In order for one to surrender, after humility, surrender. One will surrender. You cannot surrender if you're not humble. And you cannot attain love of God if you don't surrender. These are like step by step. And the best way how to get rid of our false ego is to keep chanting the holy name of the Lord and serve the Vaishnavas. Read Srila Prabhupada's books every day. The humility is the number one quality that we need to cultivate in order for us to make progress. Without humility, there is no progress. Obedience. I spoke about that in one of our meetings here, right? The qualities of the students. Number one quality of the student is obedience and humility. You cannot make progress in your school if you're not humble and you don't listen to your teachers. So we listen to our Guru Maharaj, we listen to the Vaishnavas, we listen or hear from the Srimad Bhagavatam and other Vedic literatures, then all of these bodily designations will go away, will be burned into the root. Especially when we chant, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Krishna Balarama ke, Shri Radha Madhava ke, Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ke, Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki. Nitai Gaur Sitana Pramanande.
So, thank you very much, Maharaj, for such a wonderful class of important Varshanam. Let's thank Maharaj for chanting the Mahamantra. We'll show you a short 3-minute video about our temple evaluation, how it was inaugurated. And after that, we'll request His Grace Mahamani Prabhuji and but Bhakti will just acknowledge Bhakti because these two have played such an important role in the construction of this temple. So first let us watch this wonderful 4-minute video about opening of the Krishna Vrindaranyam temple. Video.
Yeah.
आज ISKCON के इस कैंपस में मुझे आने का सौभाग्य प्राप्त हुआ है। भक्ति वेदांत गुरुकुल और इंटरनेशनल स्कूल यहाँ पर कुशलतापूर्वक संचालित हो रहा है। स्वामी प्रभुपाद जी ने अपने समय में दुनिया के अंदर 108 से भी मंदिर बनाए और आज पूरी दुनिया के अंदर श्रीमद् भगवत गीता के उपदेश के सही भाव को, ज्ञान भक्ति और वैराग्य के इस भाव को आम जन तक पहुंचाने का जो कार्य स्वामी प्रभुपाद महाराज ने उस समय किया था, आज जो उनकी अनुयायी इस कार्यक्रम के साथ जुड़े हुए हैं और कई ज्यादा ऊर्जा के साथ जुड़े हुए हैं, इसके लिए मैं हृदय से इस कौन को बधाई देता हूँ।
तो पीजी आगे से स्पीकिंग एवरीवन क्योंकि यहाँ पर डायरेक्ट भी होगा, यहाँ पर आंसर भी होगा, यहाँ पर एक्टिव भी होगा, चेक ऑन द लेसन फ्रॉम कृष्ण वाला all over here, making each and every student who is studying here becoming everyone.
अब ये गुरुकुल के बारे में स्वच्छ ब्यूटीफुल एटमॉस्फेयर में एक सुंदर सा एक टेंपल बना है आज जिसका उद्घाटन हुआ है